Hello, hello, welcome. Beautiful people, how are you guys doing today? My name is T, and I am going to tell you how I became part of this twisted nightmare. And that's exactly what it was. It was a very twisted nightmare. I'm going to explain to you how I became a part of this story and how I fell in love with a man that was on one side of the coin was a very genuine, authentic, um, caring, attentive man. But on the other side was a whole different person. But let's backtrack. Allow me to tell you a little bit about myself. Hi again. I am a 40-year-old woman that have no kids. Majority of my time I spend 35,000 feet in the air. That's that's my office. I do a lot of traveling because that is part of my career. I am a full time flight attendant. And to be completely honest with you, being a flight attendant and dating, it's like oil and water. Flight attendants get a very bad rap for being, having different holes and different area codes. That's not my story. That's not my ministry at all. I'm very much a lover girl. I love love. I Before this scenario, I had took a little break from the dating scene. Had just got back into the dating scene, and decided to give this a second chance. And again, yes, I said a second chance because I had, of course, experienced Juicy J, and that's what we're gonna call him for this for this scenario for this podcast. See, we're gonna call him Juicy J. I never called him Juicy J. This is the name that T gave him. But it's really funny if you only knew. But anyway, I had met, of course, Juicy J in 2020. This is, of course, right around COVID time. Um, we, of course, had a mutual friend, or you could say the girl was my friend, but his cousin. And we met on a birthday trip in Miami. And he seemed like he was a cool guy. Now, at that time, there was no love interest at that point, you know. But later on down the line, um, we, of course, started talking. Now, again, this is roughly around 2020, around, again, the COVID era. So I say 4 years ago, but it's hard to believe it's been five. But during that time, I liked him then, but he was a little sketchy then. That should have been my warning. But again, as I stated to you before, a lover of love. And he's a Gemini. And I love a Gemini. Just because they're so outspoken and they speak from their heart, the passion that they speak with, they're so smart and educated. Like, I honestly fell in love with this man's mind because he had a way of showing a different side. I believe, again, I believe that I'm very open minded in a lot of scenarios, but he would show me a whole different side that I would never think of. But also, like, stand on it too. Like, that to me is sexy. I love, again, I love a smart guy. If you would say, I love geeks, I love nerds. Someone that can, teach me something. I don't like being a teacher in relationships. But anyway, to get back on track here. We, of course, 5 years ago went on a couple dates. Um, this was going to be a long distance kind of relationship at this point as well, because I was living in one state, he was living somewhere else. But, we talked on the phone, FaceTime. Um, I had went up to visit him as well in his state. But like right after the COVID season or whatever else, it started to dwindle. The conversations got short. The the phone calls wasn't getting answered or returned. It kind of like just dried out. And I would say more on his part than mine, but I'm no chaser. If I reciprocate energy. If that's what you're giving, I easily fade to black. I turn into Casper Houdini. I'm out. So again, it kind of just again dwindled out, and it was cool, whatever. But he would, in the next like 2-3 years, he would subtly keep in contact. Every now and then, I would get a text message, "Hey, I got a new number," and I'm like, "Okay." Or his cousin would say little things. Again, my mutual, our mutual acquaintance or whatever, friend. I don't, not acquaintance, because I love the girl. Anyway, um, she would say, "Hey, guess who asked about you?" Or somebody said this about you, and again, she's speaking about Juicy J, and I would pay no mind, like, okay, because if you want me, come get me, you know. So let's fast forward. Um, when we initially met, I was not a flight attendant. I, of course, just became a flight attendant in the last couple of years, and that's when things kind of started back up. I moved from my state and moved to a different state, and it was actually closer to him. Again, we didn't have an everyday conversation. Not even I can't even say we're speaking. Maybe a text message here. Not me reaching out to him, because I don't do that. Him reaching out to me. Just keeping ties. Now that I see it, just keeping ties. Um, and he reached out to me this last time. I would say this is, of course, now September of 2023. Again, after just started a new career, he's of course telling me at this moment that you know give me an update, because let's be for real, I don't have any bad blood with any of my so-called ex. I don't. I let bygones be bygones. Like, I never hold on to hurt or pain. I can't. That's a burden, especially if I didn't do anything. I'm not gonna carry that. So he would reach out. He reached out, let me know, of course, how he was. He would send me some pictures. Oh, okay, cute, ha 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 ha. Dwindle out again. So let's fast forward. Now we are in October of 2024. I just turned 40. So I decided I was going to treat myself, and I took myself to Rome. Me and a friend went to Rome. And by the way, had a ball. But I posted pictures up of me going to Rome or whatever. And Juicy J inboxed me, and he was just like, just telling me how he would love to go to Rome and all this, good stuff, and how, it's beautiful, and I look so happy and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah. So at this time, again, we're talking about like maybe 3 years, or almost, like reaching out, keeping tabs. So I gave a little bit more conversation this time. This time it's like, I guess you could say was flirting back this time. I wasn't flirting back any other time. He said he wanted to go. I was like, hey, so next time you should go with me. So that instantly flew the door open. He then goes and tells me how, he's apologizing. Now this is the big moment. I think this is the moment here that really bothers me the most, because at this moment he is telling me how much he misses me, how much, he wants a second chance, and would I forgive him, and how he's went to therapy and dealt with his, his issues with shutting down, because he has a habit of, when things get tough, he goes into like a shell. He shuts down. And that was a story that he was giving me, again, prior in the 2020. And again, this is the part of the story I think bothers me the most, because the way everything played out from the beginning, you've been playing with my top. And I don't like that.